Well, it's been several months, and finally, with all that's going on in the world, decided to get the engine back in. Work has been very different lately, and had to make a few adjustments myself. So I'm dealing with that. Um, yeah, after getting the engine back from a new set of rings and bearings, I just wasn't really motivated to do anything with it, and I'm sure some of you can relate. Also, had to shave with all this Corona stuff, but I'm not changing the name of the channel because I will be growing all that back. Um, I know a lot of people walk around on all this stuff, and it's just a nervous habit. But anyway, back on the S10 race week project, which I won't be going this year. It's been nearly a year since we had this thing fired up now. Made a few little adjustments. When we first built this, we had the oil lines done a little bit differently. I've redone the oil lines for this iteration, and I'll be redoing the drains. So here, this is the quality Summit PTFE stuff. I know I say that jokingly, but it seems okay. The biggest problem with the PTFE stuff are these ferrules. If you have to redo your lines, you need a way to redo these ferrules, which we did figure out one night or one afternoon or whatever on Memorial Day weekend, how to get them back round and everything. It's pretty neat little way to do that. So it's possible, but now this one's too short, of course. I was just trying to reroute it because it did have a bit of an upslope going back to the oil pan. We had a lot of trouble with the oil feeds leaking on these, and what I've done is as a part of redoing the oil lines here, these used to be stainless steel fittings, and because for whatever reason I was stuck on getting Summit brand stuff, I guess because it's cheap, and I wanted it in PTFE because all the new stuff I was getting was PTFE, which is completely unnecessary for oil lines. However, that's what I was going for. And for PTFE 4AN lines, all Summit has are stainless steel ends, and I believe that the stainless steel end didn't jive well with the aluminum adapter on the feeds. So since then I have hooked everything up while it was on my engine dolly over here. I know this whole place is a mess. I'm getting things out of here now. But I had the engine over here, had both turbos hanging off of it, all the oil lines hooked up, and I ran my engine primer through it for about, I don't know, 5 minutes until my drill started smelling bad. With 40 pounds of oil pressure, and I didn't have any leaks, so that seems promising for now. So also you can see I've cut out my radiator support. I just got so frustrated with the way that everything went the first time with the engine bearing or the thrust bearing giving out, and I was just getting the motor out myself, and with the Harbor Freight engine lift, it doesn't pick it up high enough to be able to get the oil pan up over the radiator support, so I just cut the radiator support out. But I've gone and I've got some I've taken up a little bit of MIG work, and I've got some angle over here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little piece of angle, just kind of slide it in. Oh, there we go. Slide it in thusly. Put some rib nuts on this. Drill a hole in here, rib nut, and it'll at least give the core a little bit of support. So some of the things that we've got left, well, there's a lot left to do. Obviously, I've got to get the whole sniper system back installed, which they've come out with a Terminator version of this, which would have been perfect. or the yeah, I think it's the Terminator throttle body system, which basically takes the ECU from here, lets you put the ECU in the vehicle like a normal Terminator system. So you just run the Sniper throttle body injection with the ECU in there, and then there's none of this RFI stuff that people are always seem to have an issue with on the Facebook groups. I guess we don't have forums anymore. The Facebook groups. Other things I've done this time around, I went ahead and wrapped my exhaust. And I'm going to probably leave this and this open. But the downpipe will likely be getting, I've got some blankets. I'll show you those in just a second. So I've got some of this high heat exhaust insulation stuff that I will just wrap around the main exhaust up here, at least in this area, because this, if you've never had a turbo S10, you will, it's just so hot. The fiberglass hood is so hot you can't touch it. I mean, if it's raining on the fiberglass hood, it's just steam rolling off of it. If I have time to edit this, I will link a picture to it. I've got some pictures of steam just coming off of this, and that was when it was a single T6 over here with a crossover that just bowled the underside of the hood, which I can show you how it's baked the hood. Here's the hood. I went and brought it out in the sunlight, but this is the side where the turbo used to sit, and look, it's just completely cooked this. I had to cut this out for the radiator support. Anyways, what I'll be doing is I think I'm going to come through here, notch this out, and I've got some, I think it was street rod louvers that I'll be riveting in there. They're somewhere in this pile of parts and whatnots. Let's see, those head gaskets, no, although head gaskets for hood vents would be pretty sick. Oh, there they are. Putting these in the hood. So, just to kind of vent the hood, they'll kind of sit in this area, I suppose, just to alleviate some of the heat, as well as, I would hope, allow for better airflow through the radiator into this jam-packed engine compartment that has no room for airflow, and get out. The cowl does work some, I guess, but you can see it's already cooked the hood here a long time ago, so hopefully that'll help. Anyway, just a update as to where things are, and I believe that I'll be moving along with this maybe on weekends or something now, trying to be casual about it and not burn myself out again. But we got all the fire core wires in. I just put some NGK street plugs in. Got my steering column and shaft in today. So I'll be getting it set up for the street tune. I don't even think I've looked at the data log from when we did a little bit of street driving with it right before race week a year ago. Out here been making labels. It's a label maker that I use. I don't know whose it is, but it's mine now. So
Who's your dad's? Who's your dad's?
Yes, so apparently it was my dad's. Anyway, if anybody has any questions about this deal, feel free to ask. I know this is not really like a big YouTube channel or whatever, but try to show how I'm doing things. I will be redoing those catch cans over there. Those are going to go away. They're entirely too small. I've got some All-Star Performance deals. And I don't know if I'll run both or just the one, but I believe that I've got room up here to put one about right here. And so I had to redo my alternator spacer there, and I think I'll take my old spacer here because it was a little too short. I had to use like washers to space the alternator out to keep it in line so it wouldn't keep throwing the belt. So I think I'm gonna use a couple of these, cut this in half or so, and use these to space that out. I know that makes it crooked, but I'll put a little piece of some 1 inch or something to drop it down and make it somewhat level. So this will be able to sit here-ish. A little bit bigger of a vent. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll try to actually keep a regular update on this deal. So, thanks for watching.